So the Android Meta update is a new update that Meta has released that will impact the way that Meta delivers our ads in the platform, as well as a few other things that you need to know basically. And I'm gonna be guiding through the updates, some actions that I'm taking for my own clients, and what you need to do from a business perspective, so outside the ad account, but also how the campaign structure will maybe likely change on what I'm doing for my own clients and some things maybe that you can consider for your own specific occasion and kind of business to take into account based on this update. So let's actually dive into it. So Meta Andromeda, this is again the new update that Meta has actually launched, and that's again it's going to have a huge impact in the advertising system that they use. And again, I'm not going to go very detailed on the more techy stuff because obviously I'm not an engineer. I'm not entirely sure what all this stuff means. But what I'm sure it means is some specifically some I'm sure it has some consequences in how we need to approach our ad account, our creative process, and everything. So let's actually dive into it. Now, as you can see here, Andromeda, just to reiterate one more time, is a machine learning system designed for retrieval in ad recommendation, focus on delivering a step function improvement in value advertisers and people. Basically, is a system, is a retrieval system, so it has the contextual, it can contextualize large amounts of data all the way back from all the way back from when somebody has actually created a profile on Facebook and tie together all these pieces of information, all the relevant pieces here from an interaction with the video, which style of content they're actually interacting with. So this sort of stuff, everything, it has a great capability at contextualizing everything. And again, just to really focus on that piece, because I think it's super important, it is the first step in our multi-stage ads recommendation system. This stage is tasked with selecting ads from tens of millions of ad candidates into a few thousand relevant candidates. So it's just a beginning on how this will actually, change. Obviously, they are actually partnering up with like Nvidia and kind of big tech companies, and obviously Zuckerberg is actually building a huge database in I can't remember, but it's like a huge building somewhere. And the main thing here to really pinpoint that you need to focus on is that it's basically a system that again will analyze large amounts of data and and will will select a few ad candidates that will deliver the ads to. So what that means is basically has much more computing power to deliver an ad, to really deliver ad to the right person. Now that being said, we really need to have as much as possible and to give as much as possible to Meta in order to actually find that. And I'm not sure if you've seen, but I'm pretty sure you've seen those. And I turn those off, those AI recommendation and creative optimizations. You'll see here they have like that. They experience a 22% increase in ROAS for the advertisers that have used the advanced path creative turn on. I don't like to use it because obviously I don't like Meta to just select a random track to have on my creative, or I can't risk obviously having almost different like glitches that might happen when you just select that and the creative can actually be cropped up and everything. But it says here basically that it will prioritize those kind of advertisers that they're using this kind of optimization just because it will give Meta much more context, much more data to find the right person, because obviously it can contextualize again different data points and find our ideal customers or ideal audiences. Now I'm just basically summarizing to a mirror board here and some action items I'm going to be using for my own client. Again, once more, again, Andromeda is a personalized retrieval engine designed to improve the way ads are selected and presented to users. If you can think about the post iOS 14 update that really messed up the industry, the issue there is that Meta didn't have the information that it used to have to feed people with relevant ads. So basically, it wasn't getting all the data, and people were still delivering ads, but it was basically not really relevant to them. Now that really actually changes now with AI and obviously the much more big computing power that the machine has now. Now it can process vast amounts of data quickly and efficiently, ensuring that users see most as relevant to their interest. Again, that's a huge change. Now, what are actually what this really means basically to you as an advertiser or like a business owner, some action items that I will be taking and what I'm going to do for my own clients and my own kind of personal media buying. Now, the main thing that it means is, and just to maybe elaborate on that previous point that I mentioned about AI optimizations and creative optimizations that they suggest on their account, content diversification will be the absolute key here. We need to have assets that are optimized for each placement and basically to give Meta again the room to find the person that we are looking for, or to narrow down again the other candidates pool to really find again our ideal customer here. So what this means for you is obviously you need to start creating all the relevant assets and all the relevant type of assets and have a wide, diverse creative mix. That means statics, that means videos, that means vertical with music, that means 4x5s, everything. You need to really be and have this process down, to make the most out of the fits, the most out of everything basically here. So that's one key thing here is really finding and really distributing spend and having that creative output system to produce both statics, both videos, but not only that. If you don't want to turn all those AI optimization stuff, we need to have we need to make sure that we have music on our videos, for example, or that is 9x16 versions and everything. This will be key. Again, it will give Meta much better understanding of like which ads and where to actually feed our ads. Now, the second sub point to this is that it seems that we need to funnel spend behind more ads. So we need to start graduating our campaign structure, or at least testing with adding more ads under each campaign or each ad set, whatever the kind of structure is. Now, how I usually like to have it now is I have one scaling campaign, one creative testing campaign, and a retargeting campaign as well. And obviously that scaling campaign is a combination with advanced plus shopping or a manual sales campaign, depending on what works the best for the client and what I've seen working the best. Sometimes multiple campaigns, scaling campaigns, per goal or per SKU. So I'm gonna probably start shifting more into ASC plus, given they're actually really pushing that. And again, I'm not gonna change too much things from a scaling perspective, but it will be one ASC plus per SKU or per offer. And I think I would probably like to have my testing ABO. But what I want to do is probably change and try to consolidate, first of all, across accounts where I can to funnel more ads behind like each ad set. But on that testing per angle ABO, I might want to produce more variations and more creatives under the ad set, and then let Meta do the heavy lifting here so they can actually be promoted into the core campaign. So I'm probably going to be looking at 15-20 ads minimum. And again, this is up for testing. I'm not suggesting that it's going to be every account, but I really believe that it's going to be moving into something like that. So basically what you need here is more volume. You need to find and really get down a process to create more volume of assets and more diverse assets as well. So there's a big resource that you can obviously leverage with AI as well, but also from your internal process perspective, more focus and resource into the creative process. So again, that's I think the main two action items. So more volume of assets, more diversification on each asset, so more different sizes of formats and creatives. And third, some consolidation inside the ad account to allow Meta to basically do the heavy lifting and Meta to be able to find our customers. So there's no way that we're going to be knowing more than Facebook. Obviously, given now that they have all these kind of resourced and power to compute all these like amounts of data quickly and efficiently. So it's never gonna be about audience testing. It's more so about giving them the right kind of creative and having the right creative strategy. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope you start getting into the habit of maybe like looking at the business and how you can incorporate some of the stuff. Obviously, this could be a gradual change over the next few months and years, but it's very, very, very important. So I hope that was valuable, and have a good rest of your day.